In this video, I'm going to explain what happens during the test, on the day of the test at the test center, particularly because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Bef before that, before COVID, obviously you would go to the center and you would see an examiner sitting in person, but now things have changed, so that's why I thought to make this video and tell you what exactly happens on the day of the test. So this is particularly from B1 GESE grade 5 point of view, but most of the other exams follow the same criteria. So this is a step-by-step guide for the test takers to familiarize themselves with the situation at the test center, what is expected of them, and what they should expect when they go and book the test. Okay, so let us start now and see everything in steps. So first things first, step 1, arriving and ID check. So when you come to the center, obviously you know how to book the test. So once you book the test, you get an email telling you complete details of your booking, the test center address and everything, and you get ready with your topic form, and you fill in the topic form, and then on the day of the test, when you reach the test center, you will report to the reception. So something very similar to this type of thing. Okay. They will check your ID. ID is must. It could be your passport, it could be your biometric card, or any other form of acceptable ID and that you have to take with you. You will have to wear the mask at all time unless the staff there ask you to remove it for identification. So mostly in the first place, the first reception, they don't ask you to remove your mask. They will just check your ID and your booking, and that's it. And then they will ask you to sanitize your hands. You have to sanitize your hands a number of times during your short stay at the center. Okay, so this is the first thing. Okay, let us now move on to the second step. Okay, in the second step, you meet your steward. Okay, a steward is a kind of guide, a person who is there for you to guide throughout the process. Okay, so after you register at the reception, after you report at the reception sends you to the steward. The reception guides you to move to the next step where you meet your steward. That is one. Next thing is the steward checks your details on his or her list and makes sure you are on the list of those taking the test. Okay, so this means that when you meet your steward, he will have or she will have a list of those people who are taking the test on that day. They will ask your name and check your ID, and then they will confirm from their list that you are on the list. So once you are on the list, they just tick mark your name and ask you to sanitize your hands once again, obviously. Okay, so that was step 2. Step 3. Okay, then after you sanitize your hand, your steward takes you to the locker while following the social distancing rules. Okay, so 2-meter distancing everywhere in the center. They will take you to the locker where you have to put all your stuff. He or she will ask you to put everything in the locker except for your ID and the topic form. Okay, so you will have to put everything, literally everything, except for 2 things. One is your ID, one is your topic form. You will have to turn your mobile phone off and put it in the locker. So very simple. You need to put your phone as well inside the locker, and you need to switch it off. Next, that's very important. You need to understand this very, very carefully because they are very, very strict in terms of security checks and checks before the test. You will see that because of pandemic, obviously people can't come close to you, they can't touch you, the examiner is online, nobody is in the room when you are sitting and doing the exam. So that's why the staff, the stewards over there, they make sure that you are absolutely clean of anything that can help you or during the test. Okay, so your steward will check your pockets, hands, arms for any hidden devices, watches, Apple, or any kinds of writings on your hands or arms. Okay, so I will explain it to you. The steward will ask you to turn your pockets from inside out. Okay, you are not allowed even to keep a tissue paper uh, with you, because the tissue papers and sanitizers are provided everywhere. Okay, so if you have a runny nose, don't worry, you will find tissue papers wherever you go. Okay, then he will ask or she will ask you to show him or her your hands, your arms, hair, so that he could or she could see that there is nothing hidden um, anywhere, which can help you. I mean, there are many kinds of devices these days, like um, which can help you to connect to outside world, where you get messages or you can hear people talking to you and getting some help. And also they will check whether you have written anything on your hands or on your arms which can help you during the test. Okay, so if you have watches, you will have to put your watches, AirPods, mobile phones, everything must go in the locker. Okay, that is simple. Next, you will lock your belongings in the locker and keep the keys. Okay, so sometimes they have got these traditional lockers where you have the locks and keys. Sometimes they have got the number locks, depends, whatever, but you have to lock your stuff in there. Okay, next, after coming out of the locker room, you will again be asked to sanitize your hands. So just going before and coming after, so you will have to sanitize your hands. Okay, so now try to understand that once you are outside of the locker, you are absolutely means left with yourself, with your ID, and with your topic form. That's it. Okay. So next step is waiting area. Then your steward will take you to the waiting area where you will be seated following social distancing rules. Okay, so 2 meter distance everywhere and at a distance, and obviously you will see these kinds of lines and arrows around the center. But the steward will take you. You don't have to worry a lot about how to do things, because that is your guide who will guide you throughout. Okay. Now, that is the waiting area when you are waiting for your test. Okay, what happens next is very, very, very important. So step 5 is further checks at the registration desk. I would ask you to please listen to this very carefully, because this is something you need to keep in your mind, and this is very, very important. Okay, now in your waiting area, there would be a desk or registration desk, what they call it, in the corner of that room, or maybe next to that room, wherever there is this type of registration desk that you could see in the picture. Now, what happens here? In the waiting area, just before your test time, the registration desk will call out your name. Now, for example, your test is at 10 o'clock. So at about 9:55, they will ask you, I mean, they would ask everybody turn by turn. So for example, your test is 10 o'clock, you will be called out at 9:55, and you will go to this registration desk. Okay, here they will make other checks and register you for the test. The first one was reception desk, where you just have to report that yes, you have just turned up, you have just come for the test, and you are in actually. Next, you will sit in front of the staff who will carry out some checks on you to make sure that you are the actual person to take the exam. Now, why these are so many kind of um, security checks? Because during the pandemic, anybody could try to sit in place of somebody else. So to avoid these types of frauds and you know cheeky things, they have to make sure that you are the actual person who is doing the test. Because when online thing comes in, obviously, then there are chances that people can exploit that situation. All right, so let us make it simple. You sit in front of the in front of the staff here, and your staff would be sitting right here. You could see this transparent screen in between you and the examiner. You could see a computer, you could see sanitizer, you could see a camera here, and you could see a mic, a box of pens, and a you could see a dustbin here. Okay, so keep this in mind. Now, they first ask you to hand sanitize. So first things, sanitize your hands. Next, they will give you a wet wipe to clean your ID and give it to them. Okay, now because they want to check your ID, they will give you a wet wipe. You will wipe your passport from outside only, not open and clean it from inside, because you will rub out the writing sometimes. So just from outside, you will wipe it and you will pass it through this hole. Okay, right. They will check your ID, okay, and ask you to remove your mask to match the picture. So they will check your ID, they will ask you to remove the mat, they will check the picture, and what happens next? Let us see on the next slide. This is continued. They will check your ID, scan it, and then return after cleaning it with a wet wipe. Okay, so they will scan your ID as well. Okay, then again they will clean it with wet wipe and return it to you. So this is one step. Next, they take your digital picture from behind the protective screen. Okay, so I showed you the camera. With that camera, they take a digital picture of yourself. Next, they will record your voice using a mic that will be in front of you. Now that is interesting, and it is a kind of a new thing for those people who visit the centers. How they do this? They will ask you to count from 1 to 10 slowly and twice. Right, you will have a mic in front of you, and close to the mic or next to the mic of 1 to 10 counting is pasted or written on the table. I mean, it is very easy, but obviously they have to make sure that everything is ready for you. So they will ask you to count from 1 to 10 slowly. For example, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so you have to do this twice. Okay, so they will record your voice. Now, the reason for recording your voice is that, so this is first place where they record your voice. And when you go on to the test room, you will have to speak to the examiner online. Now, anything can happen in between. Somebody else can speak. You might have a recorder where you have recorded, I mean, stuff like that. So they just want to match that the person who registered at the registration desk was the same who did the exam. Right, next thing, they will then check your topic form and give you a pen. Okay, so after recording your voice, the staff member will ask you to hand over your topic form. Okay, so just to make sure that your topic form has been completely filled in, properly filled in, and nothing other than those things have written, so except for your name and other things. Okay, if your topic form has not been filled already, or you have lost topic form, you don't have to worry at all. They will give you a topic form and ask you to fill in there and then, because without a topic form you cannot do the exam, because that is the first part of the exam for the topic phase. Okay, so they will ask you to sign the topic form. Okay, so after checking your topic form, they will ask you to sign the topic form, and they will ask you to keep the pen if you like for making any notes during the exam. After that, again a check will be made. They will check your ears, hair, etc., to check for any hidden devices. As I mentioned already, that they will ask you to I mean, tie up your hair, or maybe remove your hair from your ears and from your neck, so that they can see that nothing is hidden. They will ask you to show both of your hands front and back. So just like, when the police officers, they catch somebody, or they try to arrest somebody, they ask them to hands up. So it's not that hands up type of situation, but they will ask you to show their hands first from the front and then from the back. There should be nothing on your hands, no, not a single thing written or single thing hidden. Okay, next, they will confirm your contact details. So once they are happy with your security checks, with your scanning, with your picture, voice recording, topic form, then they will confirm your contact details with you, and that would be the last step in on that registration desk. Okay, so after that we move on to the step number 6. Now, step number 6 means send for the test waiting area. This registration desk will ask you to go to the test waiting area. Now, that is another waiting area which is right in front of the test room, outside the test room, you could say. The registration desk will then ask you to go to the waiting area in front of the test room with your ID, topic form, and pen. Now, you should remember that at this point, you will have only your passport with you, you will have your topic form with you, and you will have a pen with you. In case during the exam you want to write something on the topic form, to make notes or to ask a question or just to write bullet points, you can do that, but you should have nothing written on it before except for these 5 boxes filled in, and your form and your name, sorry. Okay, when it is your time, the steward will guide you in the room. Okay, bear in mind that after every test, the tables, the doors, the handles of the doors are sanitized. So what happens now is, I will explain it briefly. You are sitting in front of the test room, you're waiting, yeah, and somebody is inside. So once they finish their test, they come out, then the steward goes in, sanitizes everything, the tables, the tablet, the chair, the doors, the door handle. So once he is happy with the cleaning thing, okay, then he or she will ask you to get inside. Okay, once the steward has sanitized everything, they will send you into the test room. Okay, now step 7. As you entered the test room, you will see a setup like that. You will have a chair. I mean, obviously different centers have different setups, so it could be a bit different, but this is one of them. So a chair, a table, and a tablet in front of you, some tissue papers, sanitizers, and here there is a warning sign which says that don't touch anything. So this means particularly not to touch the tablet. So what happens soon as you enter? As soon as you enter the test room, you will see a tablet on the table and a chair in front of that table. Okay, the examiner would already be online, so you don't have to turn the tablet on. He or she will already be online. You will not touch anything, means you will not touch the tablet or anything extra. Just put your topic form here if you want to. The examiner will ask you to show him your topic form, or sometime they ask you to read out the topic from your topic form. Now try to understand that, because um, when it was face to face, then the examiner would take your topic form, have a look at that, and then uh, start the exam. But now, because it is online, so some of the examiner, they ask you to show them their topic form, and some of them ask you to read them out. Okay, so they would ask you, okay, what you have written on your topic form, can you please read out to me? And then you will read out all these boxes. Okay, so this is done. From then onwards, the normal test carries out, about which I have made many videos. Okay, so from then onwards, it is normal test. So just forget about everything else and just focus on the test. It would be 10 minutes test, 2 parts, part 1 topic phase, part 2 conversation phase. It will go on like that. Okay, so we move on to that. I mean, I have already made videos about that. If you want to watch those, you can, and see what happens in the topic form, what happens in the conversation phase, topic phase. Okay, so full details are provided in those videos. Step number 8, after the test, you come out of the room, okay, just like a happy girl like this one. Your steward takes you to the locker again, back to the locker. You collect your stuff and hand sanitize. Okay, so once again, hand sanitization comes in. You are all done. So that is the point where you are done and you are, allowed to leave the center. Okay, so these are not very difficult things to remember. Okay, so what happens? The result will be with you by 9 a.m. the next day. Even during the test, the examiner will tell you that you will be getting your test result by 9 a.m. But I tell you, most of the time, it is before 9 a.m. I mean, you get your result around 4 a.m. in the morning or sometimes late um, evening that day. Okay. You come out of the building and take a deep breath and fresh air, and you are free to go. Okay. Enjoy your life then after that. So that is the whole thing. That is all about what happens on the day of the test. If you are going to take B1, GESE grade 5 of Trinity College test. Okay, I'm sure that I have explained everything to you, and if you have questions, you can ask me. You can send me a message in the text box or the comment section, and I will try to answer any question that you have. Thanks for watching, and I wish you all the best. Take care. Bye.